Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Bioshock 2 Toys R Us exclusive Big Sister Little Sister 2-pack. Now, I actually saw these in stores, and I intended to go back and buy them, but when I went back, my Toys R Us had gone through that, once again, absolutely dreadful store shift. And, these, along with the Big Daddy Bouncer figure, were gone. All they had was the standard Big Sister and Subject Delta. I was told you got these for pre-ordering the game at Toys R Us, and then they decided to carry them in stores, but I don't know. Anyways, you get your Big Sister, as you can see over here, in her tank, which is down here in the packaging, and your Little Sister, which is, right now, this is the only way to get a Little Sister figure. Sometime later this year, they're going to have a Little Sister 2-pack. I also want to make a note really quick. I've heard a lot of complaints about the Big Sister figure. A lot of complaints about her arm breaking off, either one, so kind of worried, but honestly the main reason I got this was for the Little Sister, and as you can see her little atom gun right there. So onto the back of the packaging. Of course down here you have the Big Daddy Bouncer, which was the figure that was missing, which will also be reissued later this year. Subject Delta, who I've also done a review of, the Big Daddy Rosie, and the Lady Smith Splicer. So up here it says, Big Sisters are Rapture's fiercest predators. Despite being covered in armor, they possess deadly agility and can strike from anywhere. Charged with protecting Little Sisters, Big Sisters keep an eye on all of the Atom in Rapture and punish anyone that disrupts the balance. Able to throw objects telekinetically, leap off walls for powerful melee blows, throw fireballs, execute devastating charge attacks, and even extract Atom directly from living splicers, Big Sisters are the worst nightmare of anyone unlucky enough to draw their fire. Or ire. It just says ire, it doesn't say fire. Oh well. Down here it says, Little Sisters are young girls who have had atom-producing slugs implanted into their bodies, enabling them to drink the blood of dead splicers and extract usable atom from it. This makes them incredibly valuable in Rapture, where splicers crave atom enough to kill for it. Because of this, they are accompanied at all times by a Big Daddies, hulking protectors in diving suits who will defend Little Sisters to the death. Little Sisters are driven mad by their constant exposure to the substance atom, but are not beyond redemption. In the right hands, they can find salvation and be turned into the innocent little girls they once were. So, of course, down here you have this was actually the promo art when they first released the poster of Bioshock 2. It was one of the first images they released. And as you can see, the basket that comes with the Big Sister, you can also put a Little Sister in there. Which is strange because in the game, the Little Sisters and the Big Sisters they never get in the basket. You never really see them with each other. These guys only show up once you've cleared an area of Little Sisters. But, a little bit more on that later. That being said, glad to have these characters. Let's pull them out of the packaging. And here we have the Big Sister out of packaging. Now, just like I heard, the arm falls off. Now, in most cases, I've heard the arm actually breaks off. Mine, there's just a hole, and the peg is loose. It was clearly just glued, and I don't know, I guess NECA used an inferior glue in the production process. You can glue it right back on. You can even pop it right back on. You just need to be extremely careful when you're messing with it. Does still turn, though, down here. Not actually at the joint. Another small issue is you notice the basket is massive on her back. It makes her extremely top-heavy. Now, you can kind of lean her over at an angle and she's fine, but you try to stand her up straight and she's going to fall. So you got to keep her bent. That being said, the basket, of course, came unattached. Let's get her standing up. Some very nice detail on it. Of course, it's like the Little Sisters have tied bows all around it, and also some very nice detail from NECA. Like they've been drawing. You've got some fish up here. Down here you've got Little Sisters walking with a Big Daddy. So, very nice detail. Oops. Of course, the red on the valve. The bows are a soft plastic, while the rest of it's a hard plastic. So some very nice detail on this. Like I said, the Big Sisters never really carried the Little Sisters around in the baskets. I've heard originally there was just going to be one Big Sister throughout the whole game, just as like the main nemesis, and before you killed her, she would just run away until the end of the game. And they changed that, so I can't really say. But let's go on to detail, which is always my favorite part of any NECA review. As I've already said, there's amazing detail in the tank. A very nice look on the diving helmet. Very nice on the arm needle. Of course, you can see the little blue over here. Just all down her outfit is incredible. Got the steel braces on her legs, the metal diving boots. Over here like a little rigged harpoon. So, panning back out, let's go into articulation. Now we already know that this arm is a bit of a flaw with the overall figure. Her head looks like it does a very slight left and right. It's very tight. Arms got to about here. The shoulder pads are a softer plastic, allowing for free movement. Well, I did do 360. Yeah, well, once again, some very unfortunate detail on the arms there. Let's actually leave that off till I get this arm done. Actually has a bicep joint. I mean, an elbow joint. Spins at the gauntlet and spins at the wrist separately. Over here you have the arm articulation. And unfortunately, down here you also have a bicep joint and a wrist joint. So once again, this may seem like a huge flaw in the figure now, but you couldn't move this joint anyway, so a drop of super glue will do you. It's not a huge issue. Let's see. Torso joint, as you can see, which is really what keeps her from being a little too top heavy. Legs, daggone it. Pushing that off to the side for now. The legs are a little stiff at the very beginning, but that's understandable. Bend very well at the knee. The brace is very nice on there too, as you can see. The brace is actually a separate piece of plastic. And ankle joint. Same for both legs. So you can buy the Big Sister separately. I've heard the same complaint about the arms on every Big Sister figure. And I know people out there are probably freaking out like, oh man, I don't want that if the arm falls off. Once again, this is nowhere near as big a deal as it seems. The joint looks like it was never meant to move anyway, so tiny drop of glue, pop it back on there, and even now, as long as you're not handling it excessively, it's not going to fall off. So unless you're buying it to play with it, and even then the glue will fix it, not a huge issue. So amazing detail on the Big Sister. I absolutely love her. Even some very nice detail over here on the gauntlet. So that being said, Big Sisters by themselves will run you about 13 bucks. You can get them anywhere that carries the Bioshock 2 line. But let's go on to the real reason I bought this set, which is the Little Sister. And here we have the Little Sister. Of course, she's holding her atom gun, or atom extractor. Let's get a quick 360 of her. And even on her, the detail is just amazing. And she's a very small figure, too. Let's pan out here. Very creepy looking face. A very creepy looking skin tone. She's even got some blood spatters on her gown there. Oops, knocked her over. Even her feet are detailed like they got dirt on them. As you can see. Just those creepy yellow eyes. Just an incredible amount of detail in this figure. So panning back out. The Little Sister actually has an incredible amount of articulation to be so small. Arms got to here. They do 360 degrees and have an elbow joint. Same on both arms. The head goes up, down, and does a full 360 even though she's got a ponytail, which is a softer plastic. So she also has a very nice abdomen joint. She also has some pretty nice leg articulation. She even has a knee joint. Little hindered by her dress, but not by much. So getting her posed really quick. Over here you have the atom gun, which also has some very nice paint on it. As you can see there. Hold on a second. Get it back here in the light. So you can see the little part where they actually drink the atom out of it. If you're wondering what atom is, it's kind of like a stem cell goop, but instead of actually just replacing the cells you're missing, it gives you more cells that give you the ability to use telekinesis, shoot fire, etc., etc. At least that's how it's been explained to me. My only small issue with this figure is that she could have held the atom gun better, but it'll stay just fine in her hand. Oops. Yeah, once you've got it posed, it'll stay just fine in her hand. So let's get that in there. And so if you were smart enough to pick up the Big Daddy Bouncer when you found it in stores and don't have to wait like the rest of us till it gets reissued. You can have a Big Daddy with his little sister right now. But let's actually get a look at how she fits into the big sister's basket. Actually, really quick before we move on, let's get another look at something I didn't notice, which is she's actually got like either Adam or blood-stained hand. There's little bumps all over her arm, as you can see there, like she's having a reaction or something. Very impressive detail on this character. Okay, moving on. And here we have the little sister riding in the big sister's basket. And let's actually get a closer look at that. As you can see, she's kind of grasping onto the top of the backpack there, and she's still holding her Atom gun. It makes her a tiny bit more, the big sister, a tiny bit more back heavy, but you can't deny it looks pretty awesome. But once again, you know, this didn't happen in the game, so even though it looks cool, it's kind of pointless. She does fit just fine in the basket though, but that being said, I'd actually like to get a look at how she holds on to Subject Delta, so let's get him out here. And here we have Subject Delta, and you can't really tell, but he does have his little sister grasping on back there. You can see I've kind of just have her clinging to one of the rungs on his helmet. I suppose she could sit on that thing if she wanted to. So you can put her on there. It really doesn't show up near as well as it does on the big sister. That being said, let's actually get a size comparison of all of them out here. Because I knew when I said I was going to pick this pack up, somebody asked me specifically to do a size comparison. So there you have your Subject Delta, your little sister, and your big sister. If she'll stand, bend her a little more. Yeah, so you can kind of see the size comparison there. Very nice, but that being said, with getting a look at Subject Delta in there, let's go on to the final thoughts on the Big Sister, Little Sister 2-pack. So here we have them both out of packaging. Now, like I said, these are no longer available in most Toys R Us stores. Online, these will run you between $30 to $35 after shipping. If you're a Bioshock fan, I would say it's worth it. Now, with all the things I've heard about it, chances are your big sister's arm is going to end up falling off. So be prepared to fix that, and this is an awesome set. Now, is the price a bit steep? Right now, yes. If you're not in a huge hurry to have a little sister, you could buy a big sister for about $14 and wait for the 2-pack due out later this year, probably in a few months. Personally, I think it was a solid investment, and I'm glad I bought it. Now, I do have this one thing to say. Personally, I would have loved it if they gave us an interchangeable head, and one of the heads was Eleanor Lamb, the little sister now grown up in the game that you're trying to save, who ends up wearing one of these suits at the end. I think that would have been a great add-on that really made this set worth even more than $30. But that being said, you get a great little sister figure, very impressive, a lot of articulation to be so small with her accessory, and a very nicely detailed big sister with a small arm flaw, but really that's not that big of a deal. So this is JTrain997. I highly recommend the Bioshock Big Sister Little Sister Toys R Us exclusive pack, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.